Hello and good afternoon. Thank you for watching UBC television. My name is Wadulo, Mark Arnold, and we're bringing to you the lunchtime news. Now, in our top story this afternoon, the Minister for Presidency, Esther Mbale, has attributed NRM's decimal performance in the central region to sectarianism perpetuated by cultural leaders. Now, this was at a press conference in preparation for Liberation Day, slated for early next week, and we have the details.
As Uganda gets close to the celebrations of its Liberation Day scheduled 26th January, the Minister for Presidency, Esther Mbale, is not taking cloying sectarian statements made by religious and cultural leaders in the just concluded presidential and parliamentary polls lightly. While speaking to the media at President's office, Mbale asked Ugandans to reflect on the long journey of political and economic stability they have tracked with the ruling party NRM for the last 35 years of its reign in power.
There is too much danger to our freedom if we don't come together to forge a new nation and secure it firmly. Look back upon the dark ages and conduct the evaluation of our collective effort in the journey towards economic takeoff and self-preservation against all forms of sabotage.
Mbale appealed to the religious and cultural leaders to preach the gospel of unity, peace and truth-telling, other than leading the people to the wrong path.
We are failing to do what we are supposed to do. Everybody should concentrate on what is supposed to do. Let us not mix church and politics. That man go hand a hand and then the Catholic, religion another a hand in that. Let it unite people, not basing on faith, not basing on religion. We are all Ugandans. We want to go back to the Kabaka Yeka, Manyaga, this one belongs to this group, this one belongs to. We want a Uganda which is united. Kampala is not for Uganda. Kampala is the capital city of Uganda. And we should separate Uganda from Uganda.
Unlike before, the ruling party NRM used to dominate electoral performance in Busoga region and Buganda at a win-win basis. However, this time round, the performance was not the usual, and Mbale attributed the poor party performance in the recent presidential and parliamentary polls in the two respective regions of Busoga and Buganda to cultural and religious leaders, whom she says have promoted sectarianism to separate the country.
Mbale was involved. The Catholic Church was involved. They were telling people to vote the coffee which has matured, the red coffee. The politics of tribalism, the politics of sectarianism, the politics of religion, that is where we are going. The Catholic Church has come up to decampaign the government. We used to have a few churches, but sinners were few. Now we have so many churches, sinners are so many. What went wrong?
Whereas Uganda's protracted war against poverty is steadily gaining momentum, amid its challenges of corruption and limited resource envelope, Mbale holds the view that Ugandans shouldn't fall short of utilizing the available opportunities initiated by government to flip over the biting poverty.
The interventions are now looking and aiming at those ones who cannot get government jobs. But everybody wants to get government job, white-collar job. White-collar job are not enough. So the interventions that we are doing is, for example, the youth. The government has really done enough.
While responding to Chagulanyi's continue under house arrest, Mbale said unless Chagulanyi retracts his earlier statements of inciting violence, chances of him being a free man are slim.
He was told to denounce the acts of violence before. Otherwise, as government, we don't have any other problem. We don't have any intention against the owner of Chagulanyi. The owner of Chagulanyi is our own. So as government, we are protecting him. Minister
Mbale has assured Ugandans that the ruling party NRM shall harmonize every willing Ugandan to achieve the same goal of peace. Shaidat Nasaku, UBC.
In more news this afternoon, over 60 special police constables have staged a peaceful demonstration at Hoima City demanding for their unpaid allowances. Now, they stormed the commission office last evening demanding for their allowances for guarding elections, and each constable was supposed to be given a daily allowance of 40,000 shillings for 2 days, which makes it 80,000 shillings. Let's take a look.
Over 60 special police constables from Hoima district and the Oil City have staged a peaceful demonstration at the city's Electoral Commission office in Kijungu Cell, East Division, demanding for their unpaid allowances for the presidential and local council elections. The constables first stormed Hoima Central Police Station with the intention of meeting the district police commander, Michael Ongika, and the OC operations, Charles Mbale, in vain.
Tufunire biscuit ya siringi bitano
amakafira wabintu amatakona tusasura outcomes
akaliko mutwaro kumpa kana kuba akacagura ni baketaga ura tukerere hanu
Mildred Katsabe and Wilbur Tumwesije, some of the protesters say the agreement signed with the commission entitles 40,000 shillings allowance to each constable per polling day.
tukatandika tukakora training batuiba batweneze mitware sa tukatuliba kufune mitware nene o tugenzere komesa bakatuga mitware nene abaheru mitware sa tibazituhere izi tukere tugenzere tukozere ijweri twatwena appointment letter kama sasa bagia kusiba twene kwatwaira ati bakatuga makia bakatugaruka tuite tufune sana zake tituzifunire na sazi.
Michael Ongika, Hoima DPC, has confirmed on phone that it is true the SPCs are demanding their allowances, but promised to pay them soon.
Money now, and we are not yet picked money from Electoral Commission. So I've sent their operations. Those ones who have come from far, pay them now because the transport is not there. Then those ones who are from near, I told them all of them to come tomorrow. Because, you know, paying that money, we need to give someone who is specific to pay them. People eat people's money.
Okay.
To send the money from Douglas, and then they are paid. Then the rest will be paid tomorrow.
The SPCs were trained by police for 3 months and were promised a monthly pay of 300,000 shillings allowance.
Now from Hoima we take you to Kagadi, where a loser in Kagadi parliamentary polls, Naziwa Margaret Rujumba, has stormed the Electoral Commission offices demanding for a recount of her votes. The January 14th elections were won by Jennifer Chomohendo Mbabazi and consequently declared the woman member of Parliament, Kagadi district.
Kagadi police has been engaged in running battles with supporters of an independent candidate, Naziwa Margaret Rujumba, who lost in the recent parliamentary elections. Rujumba and her supporters took the law into their hands by storming the offices of Electoral Commission, seeking for answers regarding her election loss. The demonstrators, who included boda cyclists, traversed streets of Kagadi and Mohoro town with placards before storming the office of the Electoral Commission, Kagadi. They are demanding a recount of votes using biometric voter verification machine. Robert Twikirize declared Jennifer Chomohendo Mbabazi the validly elected woman member of parliament Kaggwa after winning both primaries and general elections. Chomohendo was declared Kaggwa woman member of parliament after she garnered 65,791 votes, representing 60%, trouncing her closest rival, Naziwa Margaret, who scored 43,546 votes, representing 40%. 3 contenders were aspiring for Kaggwa woman parliamentary race, who included incumbent Jennifer Chomohendo, Naziwa Margaret, and Proskovia Nyakaisiki, who scored 1,376 votes. The Kaggwa District Police Commander, Stephen Kama, was forced to deploy security with tear gas to disperse the demonstrators. Kama advised those not satisfied with the results to appeal to court.
The one who wins and the one who loses. Now, if you lose and you are not contented with the results, you have to go to court. You file your case to court, not demonstrating. So for the case of those people who demonstrated, we also applied some reasonable force. We advised them, we engaged them and told them, let them go back.
Kaggwa resident district commissioner Lillian Ruteraho said it was wrong for the protesters to storm electoral commission offices.
And we concede and wait for 2026. I, for one, I have ever won an election and lose, and I am here. So they should keep calm, keep peace, and plan for 2026. It is very near. They just feel free and keep calm. 2026 is near, and
keep calm and hope for 2026 that you win. Those are the words. Now, in other news, the late Bishop of Masaka Diocese Emeritus John Baptist Kaggwa has been described as a man of great humility and selfless commitment. Now, this was during the Requiem Mass of the fallen bishop at Rubaga Cathedral, led by the Archbishop of Kampala Archdiocese, His Grace Cyprian Kizito Lwanga. Details follow.
Mourners this Friday converged at Rubaga Cathedral in Kampala. Pray for the repose of the soul of the late Bishop Emeritus John Baptist Kaggwa, former of Masaka Catholic Diocese. He succumbed to COVID-19 at Mlago Hospital on Wednesday at the age of 78. The Archbishop of Kampala Archdiocese, His Grace Dr. Cyprian Kizito Lwanga, led the Requiem Mass, assisted by Bishops Christopher Kakozo of Rugazi Diocese and the Bishop Emeritus Matthias Sekamanya. Archbishop Dr. Cyprian Kizito Lwanga said the fallen bishop performed all the duties of a true bishop until he breathed his last.
The bishop is the father and also the brother of the poor. When it is necessary, he should not hesitate to raise his voice to those who have no voice, for the voiceless. No. We are just a voice of the voiceless. Bishop Kaggwa did this very often. He has been a voice for the voiceless, for which we thank him.
Lwanga urged political leaders to emulate the tolerance of the late Bishop Kaggwa, who forgave those that wronged him, including those that tear-gassed him in Mityana last year, as he performed prayers for the Mbogo clan. The Chancellor Masaka Diocese Reverend Father Edward Sekabanja commended the deceased man of God for developing their diocese spiritually and economically in his 25 years of service as bishop. and after.
Twebaza Katonda olw'ekirabo eky'obusumba kye yamuwa ate kyatusumbyeemu emyaka 25 beddu ng'akulembera essaza eri Masaka. Bishop Kaggwa obadde muzadde obadde Sseruganda.
On behalf of the family, Dr. Majeda thanked God for the life of Bishop Kaggwa, who was a uniting figure.
Ayagala nnyo okubeera obumu nga tayaniriza ngambo. Ayagala nnyo amazima obwenkanya n'eddembe.
More condolence messages from Buganda and central government held Bishop Kaggwa's humility in serving humanity.
Abalimba Bishop Kaggwa abadde musajja mwogezi w'amazima ng'amazima agogera nga bwagalaba olaba naffe ng'atugambako ate nga tumuwulira. Nze mu ministry mu department eyange y'ebyenjigiriza Bishop Kaggwa has been an asset. Era ebiwandiiko byatuwadde n'amagezi g'atuwadde basawo tunaagateeka gonna mu nkola ebyenjigiriza mu Uganda bijja kukyuka nnyo.
Born on 23rd March 1943, John Baptist Kaggwa was Bishop Emeritus of the Roman Catholic Diocese of Masaka, where he served as the ordinary from 10th January 1998 until his retirement on 16th April 2019. Bishop John Baptist Kaggwa was the principal consecrator of his successor Bishop Severus Jumba on 6th July 2019. Bishop Kaggwa will Saturday be laid to rest at Bukalasa Seminary Cemetery in Masaka Diocese, Kalungu District. Bernard Higa, UBC News, Bubaga.
May his soul rest in eternal peace. I like to refer to the people that were born in the 1940s, especially after the World Wars, peace babies. So rest in peace, peace baby. In more news, the woman member of parliament elect of Mbale City, Connie Nakayenze Galiwango, has advised her political rival Lydia Wanyoto to concede defeat for the recently held elections. Now Nakayenze, who expresses readiness to face Wanyoto in court, says that the electoral process was transparent, free and fair. Her rebuttal follows reports that Wanyoto is contemplating seeking court redress over what she says was an unfair process.
I've always delivered according to the expectations.
She had high hopes in the NRM party primaries.
I am confident I'm going to have a landslide win.
Until her opponent was declared winner.
My victory was just grabbed from me.
Disappointed and discontented,
God will judge us.
She opted to stand as an independent. It is a contest where she was almost disqualified over a petition questioning the variations in her essentials.
That indicated I did not have a deed poll. That was the deed poll, indicating that I'm Nakayenze Connie Galiwango. But when I was nominated, I presented everything to the returning officer. All my papers were cleared. And just because these people want to waste a lot of my time, for them they are looking for a vote and they want me to be in court all the time.
Determined and re-energized, Connie Nakayenze Galiwango won the recently held parliamentary elections for the Mbale City Woman MP seat.
I had enough. They wanted to cheat me in the talent center, and God helped me out.
It is a victory that her opponent, Lydia Wanyoto, is not contented with, and now contemplating challenging the victory before the courts of law.
Honorable should style up and accept defeat. She thought the way she had done to me in primaries, it was the same way she was going to do to me. I was much aware that I was dealing with a thief. I was much aware that I was dealing with somebody who is not upright, somebody without integrity. So if she says she's going to court, it's most welcome. Let's go and battle it out.
Consequently, Nakayenze has some advice for her opponent.
Because if at all everybody knows I won, genuinely, and then she says I cheated her, it's very unfortunate. Let her style up.
In the just concluded parliamentary elections, Connie Galiwango was declared winner of the Mbale City Woman MP seat after garnering 40,702 votes against Lydia Wanyoto's 25,276. Henry Okrut, UBC.
Of course, some of the backlash from the elections has to be expected. Court is going to be the order of the day. Expect those stories a lot more from UBC TV. Now, government is considering degazetting part of Semiliki National Park to accommodate flood victims of the 3 sub-counties in Toroko district. The State Minister for Disaster Preparedness, Musa Echweru, underscores the need for permanent relocation of residents to avoid human fatalities. Now, speaking to UBC at his home in Amuria district, Echweru said that this process is not yet conclusive, but formalities are underway.
For several years, they have lived on these plains in peace with nature and engaged in economic and recreation activities, including cattle keeping, fishing, and swimming. But when they thought they had seen it all, hell broke out. Lake Albert burst its banks, overflowing to the plains of Ntoroko, displacing hundreds.
This thing started early last month. Like the water used to come and reach a certain level and it goes back like this. You know, when it comes and reaches behind you, you see how to control it. That's why you're seeing some sacks. You know, you have to load sacks with soil to make sure at least you sabotage water from entering the house.
Saa 7 ya usiku tunasutuka maji meingia nyumbani yote na watoto na viumbe yetu, banyama yetu yote nasakwenda.
To the residents and victims of floods here, water is not life anymore, but a source of death. Over 1,000 residents of 3 sub-counties, including Kanara and Bweramule, were affected, and hardly anyone could hide their misery.
This side of Ntoroko North it's no longer a residence now, it's already a lake. So I think someone can't stay this side.
It is a challenge that has since drawn the attention of the authorities. The Minister of State for Disaster Preparedness and Refugees, Musa Echweru, says because of such gravity of the problem, he initiated the process of degazetting part of Semiliki National Park for relocation of these flood victims.
We know what it means for tourism to be a vibrant department in our country. We know what it means to the economy. But we also know the risks involved in keeping people in low-lying areas where they risk being swallowed by the lake. So it is a very delicate balance. We might have to sacrifice part of that park, Semiliki, and relocate these 3 sub-counties.
The challenge of rising water levels on Lake Albert also stretched all the way to the Midwestern district of Bulisa.
I visited the place, the Prime Minister has visited the place. I think very strongly in our next term of office, we are going to make proposals. If, for example, His Excellency the President retains me in the docket, one of the proposals we are going to give very strongly is the relocation of those people to a permanently safer place.
How far the proposed degazetting of this park will go in addressing the challenge, only time will tell. Henry Okrut, UBC.
Well, as we take a short break, allow me to remind you that COVID-19 is real, and please still do abide by the SOPs given by the Ministry of Health. Wash your hands, keep a safe distance, and wear a face mask. Let's take a break. We'll be back.
Star 185 star 6 hash, follow the prompts and make instant school fees payments. Airtel Money, instant, secure, borderless.
I choose peace, and I call upon you all to use your language in a way that will unite and share your needs. And so I ask, as we look forward to the elections to sanitize your language and to share your differences in a peaceful way.
This message is brought to you by the Netherlands Institute for Multi-Party Democracy in partnership with Inter-Party Organization for Dialogue, iPod.
Fruitvale Fruit Juice. Our journey begins in orchards where some of the best fruits are grown. Fruitvale Fruit Juice is 100% natural with no added sugar filled with a wholesome goodness of vitamins and minerals that nourish your body and delight your taste buds. Enjoy real fruit juice in orange, tomato, apple, beetroot with mango, lemon mint with cucumber, mango, berry and tropical variants. Grab your Fruitvale 100% fruit juice today. Available in all leading supermarkets.
Welcome back. It's now time for business, this lunchtime news. Now, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, in his victory speech, directed all local governments to stop taxing daily and weekly roadside vendors selling nyamachoma, gonja, beverages, and other marketable products. However, poor service delivery by local government in various districts has over the years pushed public markets to manage their own affairs, including tax collection. Now, I visited Najembe Market along eastern Uganda, and this is what I found out.
But don't tax Muchomo day to day, I don't know, month to month, leave Muchomo alone. The ones who roast meat on the roadside, the ones who roast gonja.
57 kilometers away from Kampala towards eastern Uganda into Mabira Forest, we visit Najembe Market, where for more than 3 decades, it has grown to host hawkers selling nyamachoma, snacks, food and beverages to road travelers. We sought to find out whether paying annual trading licenses to the local government, as suggested by the president, was a preferred option compared to the daily, weekly or monthly taxes.
We
would have been more profitable, but our hawkers earn little. We even don't have a parking. Truly, for the number of hawkers we have here, earning only 4,000 shillings a day, how much should they pay as tax?
Our hawkers of this market pay a monthly tax of 1,000 shillings only, which is used to cater for things like security, electricity bills, and general cleaning.
Local government has been faulted for not providing necessary aid to the market. The leadership at Najembe proposed that public markets management should be left to them.
We don't advise the government to take up management of public markets because we are capable enough to manage its affairs. Accountability is easier with our own policies, so I don't think local government is up for the task.
So, government will have to talk obuvunanyizibwa sikakasa nti yinza okola ebintu ebyo byonna.
But if we manage the market ourselves, budgeting and planning becomes easy.
On average, the hawkers at Najembe Market, the youth and the elderly, earn 1/10 of their sales, a sum that can barely cater to all their livelihood needs.
We are trying to forge our way forward. In fact, we ought not to pay taxes to local government because we hardly benefit from it.
We thought a tax of 2,000 shillings per vendor would do, but after examining their earnings and finding them low, we brought it down to 1,000 shillings.
Local government's aid does not reflect to the people's livelihoods. We could have paid the local government tax because it is justified, but our earnings are really low.
The hawkers and traders at Najembe Market suggest that, yes, this would be a good idea to have annual licenses. However, local government service delivery still remains a challenge and to a greater extent leaves them out without helping them, even when it comes to a year of accountability. So they prefer having themselves manage their own taxes. Reporting for UBC News, Wadulo Arnold in Buyikwa District.
Now, youth unemployment in Uganda will soon be a thing of the past as more youth acquire skills through vocational training. Now, this comes at a time when local governments in partnership with TASO and Uganda Development and Health Associates are training youth for various vocational skills conducted at Lumino Community Polytechnic in Busia District.
The acting director, Directorate of Industrial Training at the Ministry of Education and Sports, says government is committed to ensuring that youth attain skills in an intervention against unemployment. He says government has invested heavily in skilling Uganda programs to transform the country. Patrick Byakatonda was officiating the graduation of the vulnerable girls at Lumio Community Polytechnic in Busia District. Byakatonda calls on the graduates to utilize the skills and knowledge acquired to develop themselves and the nation at large.
Training is very critical. So I urge your donors, government, please support this kind of training. And those who have finished training in modular or level, I mean what we call non-formal, some people call it non-formal, the 3 months, that is basic.
The Global Fund, TASO, and Uganda Development and Health Associates supported the training of the vulnerable girls in tailoring, home economics, and hairdressing. They also provided them with startup kits. The Executive Director, Uganda Development and Health Associates, Musulo Issa, says they support vulnerable girls and women in Busia District to acquire hands-on skills for self-employment.
For them to also acquire skills, be able to do their own businesses, but also to get employment. At the end of the day, those who have qualified are given a certificate from the Directorate of Industrial Training, which is recognized by the Ministry of Education, Support and Sports. And this is basically to help them to be able to have a national recognition and reputation as a country as a whole.
The lead instructor, Lumino Community Polytechnic, Okumo Alex, advised the youth to be ethical, trustworthy, and make the best use of the tools acquired.
In many of the places where this kind of training has taken place, girls end up selling their startup kits. I've advised them, let them value what they have been given, use it to generate more.
The beneficiaries believe this training will go a long way in preparing them to be productive and self-sustaining.
My name is Nanda Frida. I train to teach in nursery, early childhood development. Skills. I have skills on my head. I can do catering. I can cook any food.
Over 5,000 vulnerable adolescent girls have benefited from the program since inception in 2018. Henry Moganga compiled this report.
Double data. Airtel introduces double data, the biggest deal ever on smartphones in Uganda. Buy a smartphone, 3G or 4G, and get 100% data bonus from Airtel. Airtel is giving you 100% bonus data on all weekly and monthly bundles for every new smartphone connected to Airtel for the first 3 months. Dial *175*9# to enjoy double data. Double data, double data. Oh, bino bye biruma ba ya ye. News. Airtel, the smartphone network, regulated by Uganda Communications Commission.
It's no secret that ICT makes learning easy.
The strides made in our field could not be possible without it.
And now we can watch our favorite shows.
My radio is my best friend.
UCC provides an enabling regulatory environment and policy guidance for healthy competition. We also facilitate ease of doing business in the communications sector through licensing, standardization, spectrum management, tariff regulation, rural communication development, and consumer empowerment. An informed consumer is an empowered consumer. UCC supports local content and innovations. Driving the development of a robust communication sector in Uganda is Uganda Communications Commission.
Well, we've come to the end of the lunchtime news this 23rd day of January 2021. However, I would like to ask you, do you know the difference between light and darkness? Well, the simple difference, it also says it in Genesis, that light came from darkness, and the same way light came from darkness is the same way we appeal to you, Ugandans, your hearts should be. Let your hearts be filled with so much light that darkness has no space. Otherwise, tonight, Business Roundup, I will be with you at 8:30 p.m. Right about now, I must sign out by saying my name is Wadulo Arnold, and catch you then.
Enjoy great value from Airtel with the all-new My Pakalast combo offers. We have customized especially for you the best deals on minutes, data, and SMS with our 3-in-1 My Pakalast combo to give you the best value as you stay in touch with friends and family. To activate My Pakalast voice combo, dial *100 *2 *1# to get started.
Airtel, the smartphone network.